Welcome back. So we've created our service. It has a get all method. Now we're just going to use it inside our component. So let's go to our product list component right here to start getting that use of that service right here. Now what we can do is on initialization, we can actually use this observable now in our system. And I just want to show you first how we actually get this subscribe to get started so that we can execute some code right here. I'll do this keyword right here to say I want to look at the product service, and we just created a get all method. So that's the method that we built last lesson, right? This method, we can actually, since it's an observable, we can do a few things. We can convert it into a promise. Now, a promise is another way to kind of get a reply back. But it's only one time you'll get the reply and then you'll stop listening. So in this case, a promise would actually make sense, but I'm not going to switch that for now. I'm just going to use the subscribe right here to kind of show what's going to happen. Notice it's not actually until I call subscribe that I'm actually going to send a request. So think of it this way, this code right here is just generating what I need to make the request. And later on we'll use something called pipe right here, but for now let's just keep it simple. But think of it this way, we're not going to send the request until we call that subscribe. I think that's the most important thing to understand. So it's not going to do anything, like it's not going to send anything yet until we call that subscribe right here. When we call the subscribe, as I said, it's going to send the request to the backend and then it's going to start listening for a reply. Whenever the reply comes back right here, when that response is actually going to end here, it's actually going to then, with the response, it's going to call that next method. And if you notice right here, if I write products like this, and I just put in curly brackets, you notice the small keyword right here called next. I didn't put that in there. That's because when I'm done waiting for that reply, I'll just get whatever you got back from your request and put it into this variable right here. The next thing we could do is just make a local reference for this variable. This is the old way to do it, so I'll just show you anyway. I'll make a local reference for products right here, and then I can just create that local reference by pressing Alt-Enter. It'll create a field right here, and let's just let it create the field. Now, one thing I want you guys to know is it's not going to be a private field like it kind of defaults to, so I'll get rid of that. It's just going to be a public field like this, because then I can access from the HTML. I'll just import this DTO right here, and it still complains because even though this is now a list, it could also be null or undefined. So what I need to do is I need to explain that this list right here could either be an array or it could be undefined. So I'll just do an or right there and say undefined. So now it means that this might be null. It might also be this array of products. So that's how I can now get the data from the service and call that backend right here in our system. Now with this new method, let's just see if the code still works. We'll jump into our products right here and we're getting an exception right here. Tree, yeah, okay, I know what that is. That's because of the way we're using the HTTP client right now and the way that Angular loads its imports. We actually have a problem right here, and that's the service right now is in the root of our project, which means that it's going to look for the module down here for the HTTP client. So we're going to move that HTTP client module right here. We're actually going to move that down to the app module instead, all the way down here. So we know it's loaded before we get to creating this service right here. There are other ways to get around it, but let's just keep this for now. Later we'll add a shared module to take care of these things for us. But let's just see, there we go. Now we have another issue, and that's okay. That's because we haven't set up CORS yet for the backend. So next lesson we'll do that. That's it for this lesson. See you next time.